And everybody, all the grown-ups was like, yeah, you guys go in. So I remember they put us through the little hole, and me and my little brother are just swimming in the market, like literally swimming inside Superbuy, grabbing meat that's floating around, just meat. My brother was like, just grab meat, grab meat. So I remember we filled up 2 shopping carts full of meat and just groceries. And we just 2 little boys. I was like 6, 7. My little brother, I beat him by a year, so he was probably like 5.
This is Florence and Normandy, in the heart of South Central LA. I was out here filming, just gonna show y'all my old hood. But then a video arrived.
My name's Ovidio, or you can call me Ovi. Ovi, yes sir.
He asked if I was making a film about the '92 riots. We started chopping it up.
That's actually you're in the perfect spot.
You see that? That's heaven right there. It's like God is opening up heaven.
That is beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
His story was super compelling. I said, this is beyond coincidence. The spirit sent you to talk to me. I gotta hit record.
So my family is from El Salvador. My parents, my grandparents, they immigrated from El Salvador in the early 80s. So we were like one of the few Hispanic families still out here, living here. I remember the riots. I was probably about, I think I was like 7 years old, probably like 6. And I remember we used to live on 74th and Hoover, right on the corner. And one night, I remember my little brother was drinking a bottle, and we lived on the 2nd floor, so it was nighttime, and we looked out the window, and we saw a bunch of people in the middle of the night just walking in the middle of the street with lighting torches, like breaking stuff, throwing bottles. And I remember somebody threw a bottle at our window and hit my little brother in the face, right? So that was the first memory that I have of the riots, but I didn't understand what was going on. So the next day, my brother called us and said, come with us. So my big brother, he was about 12, 13 at the time. And that market that's on Vermont and Florence used to be called Superbuy at that time. Before it became a super, it was called Superbuy. They set it on fire, you know, they looted it, all that. So the market flooded, like the whole market flooded with water. And it was just groceries floating all in the water inside, but nobody could get in. But there was a little hole. Only me and my baby brother fit through the hole. So my big brother and everybody, all the grown-ups was like, yeah, you guys go in. So I remember they put us through the little hole, and me and my little brother are just swimming in the market, like literally swimming inside Superbuy, grabbing meat that's floating around, just meat. My brother was like, just grab meat, grab meat. So I remember we filled up 2 shopping carts full of meat and just groceries. And we just 2 little boys. I was like 6, 7. My little brother, I beat him by a year, so he was probably like 5, about, you know, like barely talking. So I remember we're in there swimming, man, swimming. We grabbed groceries, we filled up 2 shopping carts, and we came back to the apartment and gave some out and just filled up my mom's fridge. The third memory I got, the 3rd day of the riots, the National Guard came. Now they had the National Guard here. They had blocked off streets, and the National Guard was here with weapons. They had brought Humvees and all that. So there's to this day, I'm looking for that front page of the LA Times. The LA Times, on the front page of the riots, it's a picture of the National Guard standing and a bunch of little kids. And it's me, my big brother, and some of the kids from the apartments.
You read it in the newspaper.
And, of the LA Times. So to this day, I can't find that front page. It's the front page, but so I've been meaning to go or to email like a writer or an editor to see if I can find that footage, because I've been looking online and I can't find it. But it's us kneeling down, and it's the National Guard with their weapons behind us, and they got like barricades. And So those are the memories that I have of the LA riots, like physical memories. As I grew older, I started researching like the root of the problem. I know it had something to do. Part of it was, the whole time I thought it was about the Rodney King thing, but it went as I researched more and investigated more, I realized that it went deeper than that. There's a little girl that not too many people know about. This little girl was in a liquor store around here, a Korean-owned liquor store. It was a little girl, I think she was like 11. She was with her sister in the liquor store. This is before, so that happened first before the Rodney King thing, like within that month, I think. The Korean lady, the shop owner, thought the little girl was stealing, but the little girl wasn't stealing. So the Korean was like, yeah, you stole. The little girl was like, no, we didn't steal anything. So as the little girl was walking away, the Korean lady shot her and killed her. So that was one. Then the Rodney King thing happened, so the city just set off. Everywhere we went, all the Koreans, because like people don't realize, like, and I'm not trying to get like racial in the sense that I don't like Koreans or they don't like us. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just trying to state facts, right? All the liquor stores in this neighborhood, they're all Korean owned. They own all the licenses. One of the things I tell my people is they and one of the reasons people were angry at the time is because they have these liquor licenses they sell to our people. They provide to the addiction and don't give back to the community. They don't live in this community. We do. They sell us the liquor, they sell us the tobacco, then they go home. They don't give money to the schools, they don't give money to the parks, they don't give money to the churches. So I think that was one of the things that frustrated a lot of people. Besides the fact that they shot the little girl for no reason, right? The Rodney King thing, just people had enough, you know? And that was the first time that I saw that Latinos and blacks weren't looking at each other. Because at that time, blacks and Latinos didn't really get along. We've come a long way from that. Now you see integrated families. There's black people at my families. I got brother-in-laws that's black. Some of my girlfriends is black. You know, like now we don't see it that way no more. But at that time, it was a real fine line racially, you know, because now I'm a second generation Latino Salvadorian. So I went to school at Lord Miller, Fremont High School, Bethune Middle School. So we learned English at school because at home they didn't speak English. So my mom couldn't help me with my homework. I had to figure it out, but it made me better. It helped me graduate. I instilled that in my kids. So I guess those are the memories that I remember from the riots and how it all started and came about. And then, so then the like you were saying, the original Denny is his name?
Reginald Denny, yeah.
Yeah. They pulled him out the car, beat him up, and that just added to the violence. You know what I mean? But I guess one of the things that hurts me now that I understand the situation more is that we didn't realize that we were speaking out, but we destroyed our own community. You get me? Like, we set our city on fire and ruined our community, but out of anger. You know, so again, I'm just speaking on what I experienced and what my family went through at the time. But now people are more informed, people are more aware, social media, but we can't forget about this history. We can't forget about that little girl that got killed for no reason. We gotta remember these people, you know, people that were treated unfairly, people that were treated unfairly because of their skin color. You know, we can't forget these people. We gotta, so that's why when I see that they come every now and then on the anniversary of the riots, it brings me joy in the sense that we don't forget. We gotta keep, because it can happen easily again. It can easily happen. You get me? There's always people being murdered unjustly. You know, so I guess like that. I don't know what else to say, man. But I hope it helps in some way and somebody gains something from it. You know.
Glad you stopped to talk to me. That's perfect. Because, like I said, I grew up right where you grew up.
Yeah.
76 in Vermont.
Yeah.
This was my bus stop, and I was really coming. I'm doing a YouTube show, and I was coming to get footage of my old bus stop because I got bused to Patty High. I'm talking about the difference I was seeing in the morning, and then on my way to school, the whole world would change.
Oh, definitely.
And I was just kind of juxtaposing those two, and to have you come and actually share the history that you experienced. And I experienced a lot of the same stuff. Saw people today, barbecues,
I saw
electricity out.
Yeah, no electricity, everything was flooded, shit was on fire. I saw Koreans on the roofs of their buildings and their stores with guns. You get me? And as a little boy, it was it was scary. It was scary, but I was more afraid, not for me, but I was more afraid for my elders, my grandma, my mom, because they didn't speak English. We, as little boys, we already knew some English. We could communicate. All my friends was black that I grew up with. Like, I didn't have no Hispanic friends. All my friends was Belizean and Jamaican. You get me? So they were immigrants, black immigrants, African-American immigrants, you know? So that's where our, that's where we found relativity. We related on that point. So, and their parents and my parents didn't understand each other because Jamaicans didn't understand Spanish. My parents didn't understand Jamaican, but we traded food. We watched over each other's kids, and we lived as a community, you know? So those are things that we shouldn't forget, and those are things that we need to teach our next generations, you know, our next generations, to not forget that history.
When I was 8, my mama married a preacher. Said we were moving to South Central LA, the worst part of the hood, 76 and Hoover. That's the house I grew up in. It was 5 of us in one bathroom, a rat-infested garage, and a crack house 2 doors down. I remember when it caught on fire. This woman ran out screaming loud. She was completely naked. My mama gave her a robe. And it's funny because my mama still complains to this day. That lady never did return my robe. I said, Mama, let it go. Did you really want it back? The corner of Florence and Normandy. That was my bus stop, where the riots started and the hood went up in flames. I used to wait in the dark every morning, get on the bus and watch the whole world change. Right in front of my eyes, from poverty to paradise. So I went to Palisades High School. It was walking distance from the ocean. We used to eat lunch at the beach. And juxtapose that image, wealth, prosperity, you know, opulence, with the crippling poverty, the crack, the gangs that I grew up around. And every morning, that's what I saw. And it can mess with you. It started to kind of mess with me. I was upset. Like, why do we have to live the way we live and other people get to live so much better? I got angry, you know, I got curious. Started searching for answers. I read a lot. The first book that I read was the autobiography of Malcolm X. Then I read Soul on Ice. I started listening to Public Enemy, Chuck D, Flavor Flav, Brand Nubian, X-Clan. I was rocking dashikis to school, the full beads and the crown. I started the Black Student Union on campus. And I think I was just wrapping myself up in blackness because I was starting to feel insignificant, like less than. And so I had to double down, like, no, man, I have worth, right? I have value in this blackness. But you know what I've come to know as I've grown and matured is that as much as I love my black folks, man, as much as I am grateful for my African, my black ancestry, my black ancestors, my black family, it's so much bigger than that. We are so much more than these bodies. In the Bhagavad Gita it says, these bodies come to an end, but that vast embodied self is ageless, fathomless, eternal. Because even those things that happen to your body, when that person disrespected your body, you're not your body. When they told you you weren't good enough and that you could never do this and you would never be this, you're not those thoughts. Even that poverty you grew up in, when you felt diminished because you were this color or that color or didn't have enough of this or that, you are not your circumstances. You are the consciousness that is aware of all these things. Like Neville Goddard, right? He says, the I am that I am is not separate from the universal I am that creates and sustains all existence. You are that being individualized as you. And that is powerful because that changes your whole perspective. And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. Shout out to Wayne Dyer. Visible is the infinite. What is invisible is the infinite. From infinite being, the finite has come. Yet, infinite, only infinite remains. Peace in my heart, peace with each other, peace in the cosmos. It's an ancient Indian peace mantra from the Upanishads. Singing in the ancient Indian spiritual language of Sanskrit. And that piece was written between 1400 and 500 BC. And I'm singing it in 2025. That's pretty amazing. So peace and blessings, y'all. This is my Shruti box. But thank you for hanging out. I'm just gonna keep